There are moments in life when the heart feels heavy, when you smile in front of people but collapse inside. You try to explain your pain but words fail you. And sometimes the most powerful thing you can do is not to say many words, but to say the right ones. When everything feels shattered, when you don't even know how to make dua anymore, hold on to these 7 simple words and say them sincerely. Oh Allah, heal my heart and soul. Not shouted, not rushed, said quietly from the depth of who you are. This single letter may seem small, but it carries a powerful meaning. When you say, oh, you are not making a demand and you are not speaking from a place of control. You are calling out. You are admitting that you don't have all the answers, that you don't have all the strength, and that you cannot carry everything on your own. Oh is the sound of humility. It is the sound of a servant turning back to his Lord. In real life, we are often taught to appear strong, to act like we have everything under control. We hide our struggles, we convince ourselves we can handle it alone. But pain has a way of stripping that illusion away. When hardship hits, pride collapses. Suddenly, the heart realizes how fragile it truly is. That is where awe begins. It is the moment you stop pretending and start being honest. Saying oh is like raising your hands before you even speak. It is saying, I am here and I need you. You are no longer relying on people who may fail you, nor on your own limited strength. You are acknowledging that real help comes from beyond this world. This is not weakness, this is clarity. Many people delay turning to Allah because they think they must first be strong, clean or confident. But awe teaches the opposite. You turn to Allah exactly as you are broken, confused, exhausted. Allah does not wait for you to be perfect. He waits for you to be sincere. When you say, oh, you are placing yourself in the correct position in front of Allah. Not as someone who deserves, but as someone who needs. And this is why it is powerful. Because Allah loves the one who comes to Him with humility. He loves the heart that admits, I cannot do this alone. So never underestimate this first word. Before the request, before the healing, before the relief comes, oh, it is the doorway. It is the moment the heart bows, and in that bowing, strength begins. This is not just a name you mention out of habit. When you say Allah, you are calling upon the one who created you before you ever had a problem, before you ever felt pain, before you even knew how to speak. You are calling the one who knows your voice, your thoughts, and the weight you carry in your chest even when you stay silent. This name is not distant, it is deeply personal. When people are broken, they often feel misunderstood. They try to explain their pain, but no one truly gets it. Words fall short, reactions disappoint. But when you say Allah, you are turning to the only one who understands you completely without you having to explain anything. He knows what hurt you when it started and why it still aches today. This name carries mercy before judgment. Many people hesitate to turn to Allah because they think, I've made too many mistakes, or I don't deserve help. But Allah is not just Al-Hakim, the All-Wise. He is Ar-Rahman, the most merciful. When you call Him by name, you are not calling someone who wants to expose you, but someone who wants to cover you, guide you and lift you. Saying Allah is also a reminder of power. You are not asking someone who is limited, distracted or tired. You are calling the one who controls hearts, changes situations, and brings ease from places you never expected. What feels impossible to you is effortless for Him. What feels broken beyond repair is already within His control. There is comfort in this name. Even saying it softly can calm the heart. It shifts your focus away from the problem and back to the one who owns the solution. Your pain may still exist, but it no longer feels overwhelming because you are no longer carrying it alone. When you say Allah, you are reconnecting. You are reminding yourself that you belong to Him, and what belongs to Allah is never forgotten, never abandoned, and never lost. This single word turns fear into trust and loneliness into companionship. And that is why it comes so early in the dua, because everything that follows depends on who you are calling. When you say the word Allah, you are not simply uttering a name. You are calling upon the one who existed before your pain, before your story, before your existence itself. This name is not new to your tongue, but every time you say it with sincerity, it becomes new to your heart. Especially when you are broken, this name carries a weight of comfort that nothing else can replace. Many people walk through life feeling unseen. They carry struggles they cannot explain, wounds they cannot show, and questions they cannot answer. They speak to people and still feel unheard. They open their hearts and still feel misunderstood. But when you say Allah, you are speaking to the one who does not need an explanation. He already knows. He knows what happened in public and what happened in private. He knows the moment your heart cracked, even if you pretended to be strong. This is what makes this name so powerful. Allah is not distant. He is not unaware. He is not detached from your reality. He is closer to you than your own breath. He knows the tears you wiped away before anyone saw them. He knows the du'as you wanted to make but couldn't find the words for. When you call Him by name, you are calling the one who has always been aware of your pain, even when you were trying to ignore it yourself. Some people hesitate to say Allah in moments of brokenness because guilt creeps in. They think of their mistakes. They remember their sins. They replay moments where they fell short. Shaitan whispers, how can you call upon Allah after all this? But this is a misunderstanding of who Allah is. You are not calling a being who waits for you to be perfect. You are calling the one who invited you to come back no matter how far you wandered. Allah is not only the Lord of those who feel strong. He is the Lord of those who are exhausted. He is not only the God of those who pray confidently. He is the God of those who whisper through tears. When you say Allah, you are not presenting a resume of good deeds. You are presenting your need, and Allah responds to need with mercy. This name also reminds you of balance. Allah is Al-Qadir, the all-powerful, but He is also Al-Latif, the most gentle. He has the power to change your situation instantly, yet He chooses wisdom over haste. Sometimes He removes the pain, sometimes He gives you strength to endure it. Sometimes He replaces what was lost. Sometimes He teaches you something through the loss. All of this falls under His perfect knowledge, even when it doesn't make sense to you. When life feels out of control, saying Allah recenters you. It reminds you that while you may not understand what is happening, nothing is random, nothing is careless, nothing is outside His awareness. Your pain is not meaningless, and your struggle is not ignored. There is wisdom unfolding, even if you cannot see it yet. There is also comfort in knowing who you are calling. People get tired of listening. People become overwhelmed. People give advice when all you wanted was understanding. But Allah never grows tired of you turning to Him. He never says, not again. He never says, I've heard this before. Every time you call His name, He listens as if it matters, because to Him it does. Saying Allah also restores your sense of belonging. When you are broken, you often feel alone, disconnected and abandoned. But this name reminds you that you are not ownerless. You belong to Allah. And what belongs to Allah is never neglected, even when people walk away, even when doors close, even when life feels empty. Allah remains constant. This name shifts your focus from the size of your problem to the greatness of the one you are calling. The pain may still exist, but it no longer feels suffocating. The fear may still be there, but it no longer controls you. You realize that you are speaking to the one who controls hearts, circumstances and outcomes, the one who can bring relief from places you never expected. Even the sound of the name Allah carries tranquility. It is not rushed, it is not harsh, it flows gently, settling the heart. Many people find peace simply by repeating it quietly, because sometimes healing does not begin with answers, sometimes it begins with remembrance. So when you say Allah in this dua, pause for a moment. Understand who you are calling. You are calling the most merciful, the most wise, the most loving. You are calling the one who has never abandoned you, even in moments when you felt far from Him. And in that realization, something inside you begins to soften, because when you know who you are calling, hope is reborn. And when hope returns, healing is no longer impossible. When you say the word heal, you are admitting something very important, that something inside you is wounded. Healing is not denial. Healing is honesty. Many people walk around pretending they are fine, smiling on the outside while bleeding on the inside. But Allah cannot heal what you refuse to acknowledge. When you ask Allah to heal you, you are finally telling the truth about your condition. Healing does not always mean that the pain disappears immediately. This is something we must understand clearly. We live in a world that wants instant results, instant relief, instant answers. But Allah's healing is deeper than that. Sometimes He removes the pain, sometimes He removes the attachment, sometimes He removes the fear, and sometimes He gives you the strength to carry what you thought would destroy you. All of this is healing, even if it doesn't look the way you expected. When you ask Allah to heal you, you are placing your wound in the hands of the one who created it. And that may sound strange, but it is powerful. Because the one who allowed the pain is the one who knows exactly what it is meant to do for you. Allah does not break hearts without wisdom. He does not allow wounds without purpose. There is always something being shaped inside you, even when you feel shattered. Healing also takes time, and that does not mean Allah is ignoring you. Sometimes Allah heals slowly so that the lesson settles deeply. If healing came instantly every time, we would forget too quickly. We would repeat the same mistakes. We would return to the same doors that hurt us. Slow healing teaches reflection. It teaches growth. It teaches boundaries. There are wounds we don't even realize we carry. Childhood pain, rejection, betrayal, loss, disappointment, silent comparisons, unanswered prayers. These wounds pile up quietly until one day the heart feels heavy for no clear reason. When you say heal, you are asking Allah to reach places you cannot reach yourself, places you don't have words for, places you didn't know were still hurting. Healing from Allah is not only emotional, it is spiritual. Sometimes the pain you feel is not because of what happened to you, but because of how far you feel from Allah. When the soul is distant, everything feels heavier. When the connection weakens, peace disappears. Asking Allah to heal you is also asking Him to reconnect you to Him. And that reconnection alone can change everything. Some people fear healing because pain has become familiar. They don't know who they are without it. Pain becomes an identity, but Allah does not want you to live broken. He wants you to live whole. Healing does not erase your past, but it transforms how your past controls you. You remember without bleeding. You reflect without collapsing. Healing also does not mean you will never feel pain again. It means pain will no longer define you. It means you learn how to turn back to Allah faster. You learn where your true support comes from. You learn that relief does not always come from changing the situation, but from changing the heart within the situation. When you ask Allah to heal you, you are trusting His timing. You are saying, I don't know when and I don't know how, but I trust you. That trust itself is a form of healing. It calms the heart. It reduces anxiety. It replaces panic with patience. There is also healing in knowing that Allah rewards patience. Every tear you hold back, every night you struggle to sleep, every moment you choose not to give up, none of it is wasted. Allah sees it all. And sometimes the greatest healing is knowing that your pain has meaning, that it is seen and that it is counted. So when you say heal, say it with hope, not desperation. Say it knowing that Allah's healing is perfect even when it is delayed. Say it knowing that the one who heals hearts does not make mistakes. And trust that even if you don't feel better yet, something within you is already changing. This small word carries deep honesty. When you say my, you stop hiding behind general statements and shared pain. You are no longer saying people are struggling or everyone is hurting. You are saying this is mine, my wound, my fear, my weakness. And that level of honesty is where real healing begins. Many people avoid this word because it feels too exposed. Saying my forces you to take off the mask. It forces you to admit that the pain is not just around you, it is within you. We often find comfort in speaking generally because it protects us from vulnerability. But Allah does not want distance in your dua. He wants closeness. And closeness begins when you own your reality. When you say my, you are not blaming yourself. You are acknowledging responsibility over your heart, not guilt over your pain. There is a difference. Responsibility means you recognize that this is your struggle and you are bringing it to Allah. Guilt says you deserve the pain. Islam does not teach that kind of hopeless thinking. Islam teaches accountability paired with mercy. This word also separates your pain from comparison. one of the biggest traps when you are broken is looking at others and minimizing your struggle. You tell yourself, others have it worse, or I shouldn't feel like this, but pain does not work that way. What hurts you, hurts you. When you say my, you give yourself permission to be honest without comparison. Allah does not measure pain the way people do. He responds to sincerity, not severity. Saying my also deepens your relationship with Allah. It turns the dua from a scripted phrase into a personal conversation. You are no longer repeating words you heard somewhere. You are speaking from your own life. And Allah loves personal du'as because they reflect trust. You don't speak personally to someone you don't trust. There is also strength in this word. Some people think owning pain makes them weak, but the opposite is true. Weakness is pretending nothing is wrong. Strength is standing before Allah and saying, this is what I'm carrying. When you say my, you are showing courage. You are choosing truth over comfort. This word also reminds you that Allah deals with you individually. Your journey is not identical to anyone else's. Your test is designed specifically for you, your heart, your capacity, your growth. When you say my, you are acknowledging that Allah knows you personally, not as part of a crowd, but as an individual servant with a unique story. Many people struggle because they make du'as that are too distant. They ask for general peace, general ease, general happiness, but they never address the specific pain. My forces specificity. It forces you to face what actually hurts. And when you name it before Allah, it begins to lose its power over you. There is also comfort in knowing that Allah already knows what is yours. You are not informing Him. You are aligning your heart with the truth He already sees. Sometimes saying my is not for Allah's knowledge, but for your awareness. It helps you stop running from yourself. This word also breaks the habit of blaming everyone else. While others may have caused your pain, healing begins when you take ownership of your heart. You cannot control what people did to you, but you can control where you take the pain. Saying my means you stop waiting for others to fix what only Allah can heal. When you say my, you are also declaring that your pain matters. Not because you are special in the eyes of people, but because you are valuable in the sight of Allah. He does not dismiss your struggle as insignificant. He does not tell you to be quiet because others are suffering more. He listens fully because you are His servant. So do not rush this word. Let it sit, let it humble you, but also ground you. My is the moment you stop running and start returning. It is the moment you stop pretending and start trusting. And once you own your pain before Allah, you are finally in the right place to let it go. The heart is where the real pain lives. Not the kind people can see, not the kind you can explain easily, but the kind that sits quietly inside you and affects everything you do. You can function with a tired body, but when the heart is heavy, even simple things feel exhausting. When you say heart, you are pointing to the center of your emotional and spiritual life, the place where wounds hurt the longest. The heart is not just a physical organ. In Islam, it is the place of intention, faith, fear, hope, and love. When the heart is disturbed, nothing feels right. You may have food, money, friends, and comfort, yet still feel empty. That emptiness is not because something is missing around you, but because something is hurting within you. And Allah knows this better than anyone. Many people try to fix the heart with distractions. They keep busy. They scroll endlessly. They surround themselves with noise so they don't have to sit with their thoughts. But distractions don't heal the heart. They only delay the pain. Eventually, when the noise fades, the heart speaks again. And when it does, it often speaks louder. When you ask Allah to heal your heart, you are asking Him to address the root, not the surface. You are not just asking for relief from sadness, but relief from whatever caused it. The heartbreak, the disappointment, the betrayal, the regret, the longing. These are heart wounds, and only the one who created the heart knows how to mend them properly. The heart also holds memories. Some memories make you smile, but others reopen wounds every time you remember them. You can move forward physically while your heart remains stuck in the past. Asking Allah to heal your heart is asking Him to loosen the grip of painful memories so they no longer control your present. A wounded heart also affects how you see the world. It makes you suspicious, it makes you defensive, it makes you tired of hoping. Sometimes it makes you pull away from people who care about you, not because you don't want love, but because you're afraid of being hurt again. Allah understands this fear. When you ask Him to heal your heart, you are asking Him to restore your ability to trust slowly and safely. The heart is also where faith rises and falls. When the heart is heavy, worship feels difficult, du'as feel distant, motivation disappears. This does not mean you are a bad believer. It means your heart is wounded. And wounded hearts need care, not criticism. Allah does not punish you for feeling broken. He invites you to come closer. Healing the heart does not mean you will forget what hurt you. It means you will remember without pain controlling you. It means the memory no longer defines you. The scar may remain, but the wound no longer bleeds. This is the kind of healing Allah gives, deep, lasting, and transformative. The heart also needs reassurance. When you are broken, the heart constantly asks, will this ever get better? When you bring your heart to Allah, you are placing that question in the hands of the one who never lies, never neglects, and never abandons. Even if the answer doesn't come immediately, the heart finds peace in knowing it is not alone. Sometimes Allah heals the heart by removing what hurts it. Sometimes He heals it by changing how it reacts. Sometimes He replaces what was lost with something better. And sometimes He heals the heart simply by reminding it that He is near, near enough to hear the silent cries, near enough to see the hidden pain. When you say heart in this dua, say it slowly, mean it. Bring your true condition to Allah, not the version you show the world. Because the heart you hide from people is the heart Allah is waiting to heal. And once the heart begins to heal, everything else slowly follows. This word may seem small, almost unnoticeable, but it carries a quiet honesty that many people overlook. When you say and, you are acknowledging that your pain is not simple. It is not one problem with one cause. It is layered, it is built over time. One disappointment added to another, one loss followed by another fear, one unanswered prayer followed by another silent night. And gives your pain permission to be complex. Many people feel frustrated because they try to isolate their suffering. They tell themselves, if only this one thing was fixed, I would be fine. But deep down they know it's not just one thing. It's what happened before and what happened after and what never healed properly. When you say and, you stop pretending that your pain is neat and organized. You accept that it is tangled and you bring all of it to Allah at once. This word also removes pressure from your heart. Some people think they must explain every detail to Allah, list every problem, describe every wound. But and says, there is more than I can express. It is a word that carries what you cannot put into sentences. Allah does not need a full explanation. He understands what and holds. And is also a sign of trust. You are saying, I know there is more inside me than what I've mentioned, and I trust you with all of it. You are handing over the parts you understand and the parts you don't. The pain you can name and the pain you can't. The fears you recognize and the ones that quietly control you without your awareness. This word also reminds you that Allah's capacity is unlimited. People get overwhelmed when you bring too much to them. They say, that's a lot, or I don't know how to help. Allah never says that. When you say and, you are acknowledging that Allah can handle everything together, not one issue at a time, not one tear at a time, all of it at once. Life often breaks people not through one major event, but through accumulation. Small disappointments repeated, expectations unmet, trust shaken slowly, hope weakened bit by bit. And represents that accumulation. It represents the quiet exhaustion that comes from carrying too much for too long. When you say it, you are finally admitting this is heavy. And also protects you from minimizing your pain. Many people tell themselves, I shouldn't feel this way, or it's not that bad, but your heart knows the truth.